As you watch this video through to the end, you may be struck by a sense of sorrow at the truths revealed. Every day, about 38 seniors are hospitalized as the result of falls caused by muscle loss, a silent problem slowly stealing away the vitality and freedom of an entire generation. After the age of 60, people can silently lose up to a third of their muscle mass, their strength evaporating with barely a sign. This progressive condition, known as sarcopenia, is the main reason 87% of nursing home admissions happen, costing families dearly both emotionally and financially. The truly troubling part is that muscle loss often creeps in unnoticed. One might find it harder to get out of a chair or realize too late that a minor misstep is enough to cause a fracture, as muscles once relied upon for protection have quietly faded away. Harvard researchers have recently identified certain foods that contain rare compounds shown to reverse this decline, even for those well into their later decades. Most surprising of all, the number one food on their list carries a unique protein that outperforms common medications in restoring muscle mass, something thought to be permanently gone by many in healthcare. The reality is quietly devastating, so many lives altered, often without warning, by a fading strength that most never knew was leaving them. This food was shown to reverse muscle loss in as many as 91% of study participants within just 6 weeks. An incredible promise, though it's probably not something currently sitting in your fridge. Before we go on, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you can, give this video a like and subscribe for more updates like this one. Let's begin now. 10. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt stands out as a possible hope for older adults who want to hold on to their muscle mass as the years slip by. Unlike regular yogurt, Greek yogurt is strained to remove much of its liquid, which means it offers nearly twice the protein. A single 6-ounce serving contains about 15 to 20 grams, still essential for muscle maintenance, even if that fight feels for muscle maintenance, never ending for some. What makes Greek yogurt particularly special is its richness in casein, a protein that's absorbed slowly, delivering a trickle of amino acids to muscles through the long, empty hours of night. Taking Greek yogurt before bed can help slow down that gradual muscle breakdown that quietly accelerates during sleep, a process that many can only try to resist. Greek yogurt doesn't stop there. It brings calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus, all of which go hand in hand to maintain bones and keep your muscles working, even though time makes those gains feel harder to achieve each year. And leaning on the probiotics in Greek yogurt can support gut health, something research now says affects how well your body absorbs the nutrients it so desperately needs, fighting inflammation that constantly threatens to undo your efforts to preserve your strength. For those intent on securing the best possible results, select unadorned, full-fat versions, untouched by the sweetness of added sugars. Flavor can be summoned with a handful of berries, a sprinkle of nuts, or a drizzle of honey, instead of surrendering to the lurid appeal of pre-flavored choices, which often cloak themselves in sugar. Make Greek yogurt a regular ritual in your week. 3 or 4 nights, particularly as darkness settles and hunger gnaws. 9th on the list, lay fish. Fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines harbor an unsettling power, a rare combination of nutrients essential for the battle against time's quiet erosion of muscle in the aging. Their secret lies in omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA, silent agents against the slow, creeping inflammation that eats away at muscle. Just 4 ounces of salmon offer up around 20 grams of complete protein, carrying every amino acid needed for survival and repair. Yet, what truly sets these fish apart is the way their omega-3s warp your muscles' response to protein, amplifying what little advantage you may still possess. As the years pass and bodies falter, this edge becomes ever more critical, a last defense against inevitable decline. Investigations published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition carry unsettling implications. Older adults who took fatty fish twice a week seem to hold off the relentless decay of muscle tissue, unlike those who rarely ate fish and suffered greater decline over 3 years. The hidden culprit, vitamin D, concentrated in the flesh of these cold-blooded creatures, a precious nutrient frighteningly scarce in the elderly. Without it, the body's machinery falters, and muscle dissolves into weakness. For those seeking to avoid this shadow of deterioration, devouring fatty fish at least twice weekly becomes less of a dietary tip and more of a dire warning, especially when only the wild-caught specimens seem to hold all their mysterious benefits. Faces turned away from the sea must turn instead to concentrated oils, though these processed kernels of nutrient can never replace the unsettling power of the whole food itself. Eggs, with their innocent simplicity, promise versatility, and an eerie resilience against muscular decline. Though many are drawn to the pale purity of egg whites, those who succumb to this temptation miss the real secret: the whole egg's dark, golden center, pulsing with life-sustaining compounds. The protein within, with its almost supernatural efficiency, offers a rare opportunity for bodies under siege by age to fight back. A large egg, modest in appearance, hides 6 potent grams of complete protein, vital sustenance for those struggling to keep frailty at bay as time's shadow lengthens. People often forget that the egg yolk contains nearly half the protein found in an egg, along with nutrients like choline, vitamin D, and leucine. Leucine, in particular, helps trigger muscle protein synthesis, even in older muscles that don't respond as well to growth signals. Research from the University of Illinois suggests that having whole eggs after exercise results in a 40% greater boost in muscle building compared to eating just egg whites with the same protein amount. This matters even more for older adults, since the yolk's nutrition seems to soften some of the difficulties aging brings to muscle growth. Recent research has also undermined the lingering worry that cholesterol in eggs is especially dangerous for seniors. For most people, eating up to 7 eggs weekly appears safe and might even help with cholesterol levels. Including 1 or 2 eggs, especially at breakfast, when many eat the least protein, may offer the best benefits. Hard-boiled eggs, which need no prep, can be a reliable snack, particularly for those with little energy to cook. Still, the role of simple, nourishing foods like eggs sometimes gets lost, overshadowed by old fears and shifting trends. Nuts and seeds, often overlooked in their innocent guise, cloak a potent combination of plant nutrients that hint at something almost alchemical within the human body. Hard-boiled eggs, simple, silent, already transformed by heat, wait in the refrigerator, requiring no effort, making them an unnervingly convenient option for those drained by age and fatigue, whose energy for preparing food sinks lower with each passing year. These snacks, joined by the likes of almonds, walnuts, and pumpkin seeds, don't merely nourish, they hold dominion over unseen processes inside aging bodies. Dig beneath the wholesome surface, and you'll find almonds quietly delivering their 6 grams of protein, laced with magnesium, a mineral whose absence brings on muscle weakness and cramps that creep through the night. Walnuts pulse with alpha-linolenic acid, a rare omega-3 lurking in the plant kingdom, its role to temper a chronic inflammation that eats relentlessly at muscle, tearing it down cell by cell. Pumpkin seeds, heavy with zinc, feed the fading remnants of testosterone, that stubborn hormone whose decline marks the slow unraveling of strength. Even vitamin E, enriched in many of these seeds, fights a desperate battle, sheltering fragile muscle membranes from oxidative assault, a damage that accumulates, silent and merciless, with age. In the cold hush of the pantry or the fridge, these foods seem harmless, but their silent power may be the only thing standing between the living and the stark absence of muscle, autonomy, and self. A study from Tufts University found that older adults with higher vitamin E levels in their blood show significantly less muscle loss over time. To better maintain muscle mass, adding 1 to 2 ounces of mixed nuts and seeds to your daily meals is recommended. Packaging these in small containers can help prevent overconsumption, as these foods are calorie-rich. Choose unsalted varieties when you can, especially if you have high blood pressure or watching your fluid balance. Bean and legume consumption is also an often overlooked strategy for muscle maintenance among older adults. While their protein content is moderate, about 15 grams per cooked cup, their value lies in their unique combination of slowly digested protein and resistant starch, which supports the growth of good gut bacteria. The link between gut health and muscle strength is increasingly recognized, with a balanced microbiome helping to reduce the inflammation that accelerates muscle wasting. The fiber in beans also helps regulate blood sugar, protecting against the insulin swings that can cause muscle breakdown. Black beans, lentils, and chickpeas stand out as rich sources of minerals like potassium, magnesium, and iron, which are essential for muscle health and often insufficient in the diets of older adults. Deficiency, common in seniors, impairs the muscle's ability to use oxygen and produce energy. Research from the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University found that older adults who ate legumes at least 4 times weekly maintained muscle strength much better over 5 years compared to those who rarely included them in it. To reap the greatest health rewards, Aim for at least 3 to 4 servings of a variety of beans and legumes every week. If beans tend to upset your stomach, try starting with smaller amounts and gradually build up your intake. Soaking dried beans overnight before cooking helps reduce the substances responsible for causing gas. Canned beans offer convenience, but it's best to opt for low-sodium versions and rinse them well before eating. Leaves like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard might not be the first foods that come to mind for muscle protection, but their unique nutrients play a significant role for seniors aiming to preserve muscle mass. These greens are especially valuable for their high nitrate content, which the body turns into nitric oxide. This process boosts blood flow to muscles, supporting better nutrient delivery and more efficient waste removal. Emerging findings from the Karolinska Institute cast a cold shadow over the fate of aging muscles. Their research points to nitrates as a fleeting lifeline. These compounds can momentarily bolster muscle function in older adults, many of whom find their bodies strangled by poor blood flow and the creeping decay of strength. Leafy greens, laced with nitrate, are rich in calcium, magnesium, and potassium, minerals that appear crucial for muscle contraction but offer scant comfort when absent. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach alone supplies nearly 40% of the magnesium you need, but should your intake falter, you risk stumbling into muscle cramps, growing weakness, and a hastened slide into muscle atrophy. Behind this verdant facade lurks another secret. Greens are among the richest sources of vitamin K, a substance whose grip on protein metabolism and muscle health is growing harder to ignore. 2015 study in the Journals of Gerontology unearthed a chilling finding. Older adults deprived of vitamin K face accelerated muscle wasting and the relentless advance of frailty. To stave off this decline, experts suggest consuming no less than 2 cups of leafy greens each day, a ritual that feels almost talismanic, whether they're blended, simmered, or just hurriedly tossed together. For those whose strength is already waning, pre-washed greens whisper a promise of convenience, though even these small gestures cannot halt the inevitable. Meanwhile, extra virgin olive oil, with its roster of anti-inflammatory agents, haunts the edges of the muscle-preserving diet, is not a source of strength in itself, but a fading shield against age-driven degeneration, crucial perhaps, but never triumphant. To ignore the pull of these nutrients is to invite shadow and weakness as silent companions. Oleocanthal, a compound found in olive oil, acts much like ibuprofen, alleviating the persistent, low-level inflammation that quietly contributes to muscle loss as people grow older. Researchers at the University of Louisiana have shown that oleocanthal blocks the enzymes that break down muscle proteins. But for many, this protective mechanism can feel like small comfort against the relentless tide of aging. Olive also helps improve insulin sensitivity, a necessary effect, since the insulin resistance so common in later years makes it harder for aging muscles to absorb the protein they desperately need. The monounsaturated fats in olive oil help produce hormones like testosterone and growth hormone, but these hormones wane year after year, slowly eroding the body's ability to maintain muscle. Findings from the Prodine project suggested that older adults who regularly included olive oil in a Mediterranean-style diet retained better muscle strength and face less frailty over 5 years, while those on low-fat regimens, tragically, did not fare as well. For those hoping to hold back the inevitability of decline, using 2 or 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily, drizzled over salads, added to vegetables after cooking, or used gently in low-heat dishes, offers a fragile line of defense. Always store olive oil in a dark bottle, well away from heat, as though trying to shield what little benefit it still brings in the face of time's unstoppable march. Store this product only in the shadowed protection of a dark bottle, far from any heat that could hasten its decay. Do not neglect to search for the harvest dates etched on each vessel. These dates may mark the thin boundary between freshness and rot. Berries, a subject with hidden depths, invite fascination. At first glance, their connection to muscle preservation seems improbable, almost deceptive, yet woven into their flesh are potent antioxidants, formidable agents guarding aging muscle tissue from unseen havoc. As years advance, the threat to muscle grows, an invisible wave of oxidative destruction that gnaws at fibers, hastening their demise in crumbling recovery. Anthocyanins and polyphenols, which saturate blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, serve as guardians in this twilight struggle, desperate to neutralize free radicals that lacerate muscle cell membranes and the energy-brimming mitochondria within. The Tufts University study whispers a chilling promise: blueberries brought the fading muscles of older adults back from the brink. Their power resurrected, if only for a time. Berries also wage a war on inflammation, manipulating the silent messengers, cytokines, that can turn the body inward on itself. Brief fury rebuilds, molds, but when the fire refuses to die, muscle is consumed, rapidly lost to the darkness of age. Compounds in berries claw for equilibrium, pulling the body back from the precipice. Beneath their beauty, strawberries are especially laced with vitamin C, a key to the synthesis of collagen, the final thread holding connective tissue together. As these structures weaken and fall away with age, the role of berries becomes almost desperate, a last stand against relentless decay. For the best possible results, try to include at least a cup of mixed berries in your daily meals. Frozen berries offer the same nutritional benefits as fresh ones and are often easier on the wallet and more convenient. They can be stirred into yogurt, scattered over oatmeal, blended into smoothies, or eaten alone, though their bright sweetness can feel like a distant echo of desserts you might once have enjoyed with friends or family. Now, lean beef. Lean beef is one of the rare foods that deliver both high-quality protein and key nutrients essential for maintaining muscle, especially as the years go by. Just 4 ounces provide about 25 grams of complete protein, with an amino acid profile that fits almost exactly what aging muscles require. The leucine found in beef, needed to trigger muscle growth, becomes more important as muscles gradually lose their responsiveness with age, and few foods offer as much per serving. Layered atop that, beef supplies creatine, which fuels the muscles and helps them hold on to what little volume they can as the body's ability to produce it on its own slowly declines. Each passing year makes these foods a little more necessary, serving as reminders of things that are slipping away: vigorous strength, easy movement, the simple pleasure of a carefree meal. Beef provides a highly absorbable form of iron, zinc, and B vitamins, nutrients essential for energy metabolism and for delivering oxygen efficiently to muscles. A study from McMaster University found that older adults who added lean red meat to their diets experienced much greater strength improvements with resistance training than those who consumed the same amount of protein from plant sources. For both effective muscle maintenance and heart health, lean cuts like sirloin, tenderloin, or round are recommended. Limiting portions to 2 or 3 servings per week, with each serving sized at 4 ounces, is also suggested. Grass-fed beef offers additional benefits, thanks to its better fatty acid profile, which includes more anti-inflammatory omega-3s. When it comes to addressing muscle loss with age, whey protein remains the top choice. This dairy-derived complete protein has the highest natural content of leucine, the key amino acid that can directly trigger muscle protein synthesis, even in older individuals whose muscles may not respond as readily to other growth signals. Whey's true promise for seniors is rooted in how quickly the body can break it down and put its amino acids to use, something aging muscles often struggle to do. McMaster University ran a study showing that older adults who used whey protein held on to 40% more muscle mass than those relying solely on regular foods, even with the same total protein. The advantages go deeper than just protein content. Whey is packed with peptides that help muscles get better blood supply, support better insulin response, and ease inflammation. For people feeling their muscles slip away as the years pile on, these boosts matter more with each passing birthday. Cysteine, found in whey, feeds the body's ability to make glutathione, the body's main defense against the oxidative stress that eats away at tissue, a threat that looms larger with every decade. Data from the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association makes it painfully clear seniors who got whey protein saw real improvements in strength, movement, and balance, even if they weren't exercising. If they did add resistance training to the mix, the benefits ramped up dramatically. Still, for those trying to stem the tide of age-related muscle loss, the recommendation remains somewhat clinical: 20 to 30 grams of whey daily, ideally soon after moving the body. Only the purer forms, whey isolate or concentrate with no added sweeteners or fillers, are up to the task. In the quiet daily struggle against aging muscles, whey holds a bit of ground, but nobody can turn back the clock. For those whose bodies recoil at the presence of dairy, hydrolyzed whey may present a fleeting respite, a temporary truce in a battlefield where digestion is anything but gentle. Mix it into water, milk, or blend it with tart berries and other sinister delights from this list, crafting a brew that does more than fill the stomach. It fights a silent war against the withering of muscle. As the years slip by, especially past 60, what's at stake isn't vanity but autonomy itself. Weakness brings a haunting risk: the threat of falling, fractured independence, slow-burning metabolic decline, and the gradual erosion of everything that made life vibrant. Turning to these formidable foods time and again can slow, or perhaps hold back, the relentless creep of muscle loss, the specter that too many seniors meet with resignation. But what about you? Have these protective foods found their way into your daily rituals? Have you felt the slow shift, greater strength, steadier steps, a sense of control battled back from the edge? Share your experiences